welcome to the Girl with the Peter Spirit podcast. I am Jabez and I'm talking with my daughter Christine, aka Rainy Days. Hey twin.
Hello, mother.
Yeah, so we didn't plan our outfits.
No.
And we're matching, we're twinning.
You copied me.
No, I did not. I did not see when you were getting ready. I was like,
I was wearing this before. I just put the pants on.
I had my outfit laid out as well. So I did not follow you, okay? I had my outfit laid out and all. It didn't even click to me until we were both dressed. I guess great minds think alike. Is that what it is?
I don't know what it is.
Or is it fools seldom differ?
I don't know. But I guess happy accident or something.
Yeah, happy accident. But you look nice.
Thank you, you too.
Oh, thank you. Today we're going to talk about something that bugs me a lot. And you and I have spoken about this as well. I have heard so many Christians talking about levels. Yeah, and I'm thinking to myself, really? Like, how does that work?
I like numbers too.
Yeah, oh yeah, like level 1, level 2, level 3, I'm on level 9. Like, how are we here? Where we're talking about levels. I don't understand that. Let me tell you something. You see, one thing I notice like with Christianity is that we're so divided in so many things. And instead of finding ways to unify, we're always finding ways to divide.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that's the human nature. Right?
Yeah.
That just doesn't exist in Christianity, but just the rest of the world as well.
Yeah.
In different ways.
Yeah, but as Christians, we shouldn't be like the rest of the world, though. Is what I'm saying.
No, you shouldn't be.
Yeah, because it's like, we're supposed to be like each member helping the other member. If something good happens, then we all rejoice. If something sad happens, we all grieve. If one member is hurting, we're all hurting, and so we have to find ways to help each other up. But this thing about levels, I hear it so many times and it just aggravates me. I don't like to hear it. The thing about it is, in terms of like denominations, we know that like so many different denominations now, like I can't even count. And what it is about differences.
Right. Differentiating yourself, like you said, kind of whose way is the right way. We're all part of the body of Christ. Why is that necessary? Like, even if we have different purposes, right? It's all the same body.
And different works, one spirit.
Right.
And so we're all supposed to be working towards the same goal. And yet we're pulling, it's like tug of war. The different denominations is really about division because we can't agree on doctrine. So I'm saying that the way that I think and the way that I've interpreted things is the way, the best way, and the truth. So I'm setting myself up as being better or being right.
Right.
So my denomination is the right denomination. It is the way to heaven. And we've been doing this and we continue to do this. And levels is the same thing. When I hear people talking about levels, I'm a level this, I'm a level 5. And you know, you might be a level 1. What's a level 1?
Yeah, I have no idea. It's like God has never told me anything about
levels.
Being on a level.
Yeah. God has never said, okay, Jabez, you need to step it up. You know, you need to move up from a level 3 to a level 4. What is that? He's never said that.
No.
And that's not in the Bible.
No.
Yes, I don't know why we constantly come up with these things that make absolutely no sense at all. I know that we're at stages because we're all growing.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. We're at different stages of growth, right? Spiritual growth. But I don't think about that in terms of levels.
No, because if you think of a plant, think, you know, like I have some planting trees out there. They've been struggling to come for like about a year. And there is one that is doing better than the others in terms of development, but do I value that tree over the others? No, I'm rooting for all of them because I love planting, right? So I'm like rooting for all of them to bear fruit.
Right.
And so whatever water one gets, the others get. Whatever nourishment one gets, the others get. Because I'm treating them all the same, even though they're at their different stages. So yeah, you don't expect like a newborn believer to know as much as somebody who has been saved for 20 years.
Right.
So we understand that,
Right.
that you're at different stages of growth, but it does not mean that you get to assign yourself a level. Jesus has not assigned a level to any of us.
No.
So I don't know why we do that.
We're made in a way where we crave validation, and when we don't depend on God for that validation, we start to try to find other ways to self-validate and elevate.
Yeah, that's true. That's absolutely true. I don't know what it is about human nature where we need to think of ourselves as better than other people. That is something that we have to work on, and
Yeah.
that is why the Bible mentions humility,
Right.
about being humble, and where Jesus
Exactly.
says those who exalt themselves are going to be humbled, and
Right.
that the meek are the ones who are going to inherit the earth. It's like Jesus said, becoming like little children to enter the kingdom of heaven.
Right.
Yeah, because before they're spoiled in any kind of way, they are just so pure. They're just so, they're
Genuine.
genuine. Yeah, they're so genuine. They're so authentic.
You would always comment because you love to watch baking challenges. and
Yeah, I
stuff.
do. Yeah, I love those competitions. Yeah.
So, watching the kids' version of those baking challenges and how you would always point out and like how you always notice like the kids are just especially helpful and supportive to one another.
Yeah, exactly. Like I want to win, but I want to see you do well as well.
Right.
And they're patting each other on the back, and they're like,
Yeah.
"Oh, who has flour? Like here,
Yeah.
and who can open this for me? Like I
Yeah.
can't turn this on." And they're running to help
Yeah.
each other, and
Very, very helpful,
yeah,
very sweet.
very sweet. Not really seeing themselves as better than the others. Almost like a team, although we're in competition, we're helping one another. Listen, nobody is perfect. We're all sinners. And so just because, and we like to do this, like look at what other people are doing and criticize and act as if, we're better than,
Like,
yeah.
And I'll admit sometimes I get caught in that because I hate immorality, so I do have to watch myself in terms of getting distracted by certain things going on in the world and just it's all going to hell in a handbasket. What are these people doing? And just like sweeping my side of the street. God has been reminding me,
Yeah.
like, hey, like you also have faults. Just focus on sweeping your side of the street.
I don't know what it is about people that love to put other people down and like to elevate themselves above others. People have different gifts. And so because I might have a certain gift that seems totally incredible and out of this world, fantastic, does not mean that I'm of more worth than you, because I have somehow decided in my head that this makes me better than you. Look at Jeremiah going down to the potter's house, and what did he see there?
When he went there, he saw the potter reforming a jar that he made to his liking.
Yeah, because it was marred. It was not perfect. It is God who molds us and shapes us into what he desires. And so none of us can say, okay, why did you make me this way? Because the potter is the one who decides what vessels he's going to make for common use and what vessels he's going to make for special use. And just because he has determined that a vessel is going to be made for special use does not make the other one useless.
Right, exactly. No, because everything has its purpose and its place, right? And the Bible talks about that, the different parts of the body, and no one part being any better or more important than the other. The parts that are seemingly less important, he elevates, so that we're not able to say that one part is truly more important or more significant. Like it all levels out, and he did that intentionally because we're all equal.
Like as you're talking, I'm looking at you and your arm and your fingers and you're pulling down your shirt. And so like, you know, the arm is vital to the body, but then you would not have been able to do that without fingers. They're small, but they're important. It's everything working together.
In tandem, right?
Yeah, in tandem. In the kingdom of heaven, nobody's better than anybody else.
No,
You know, I remember.
well, what do you call it? Is it John and James's mother tried that with Jesus? She tried to get her son a special spot next to Jesus.
Yeah.
Right.
I think she was asking for one to be on his left side and one to sit on his right side. Yeah, and Jesus said those spaces are not for me to give away. That's determined by my Father. So what makes John and James more qualified than the other disciples? Where are they supposed to sit?
See, that's the thing about us as people. Like, inherently, we have that desire to separate and elevate ourselves, right? Because we feel like that gives us a sense of importance.
Yeah, so not even only on earth, people want to be elevated in heaven as well.
Right. And even John the Baptist, right? He was, in the Bible, noted as the greatest man to be born to a woman, and yet in heaven he's the least.
Right. Yeah, I remember a cool dream that you had in which you saw Jesus, but you didn't see his face.
No. And it wasn't a dream, it was like a vision.
Ah, yes, that's right. Yeah.
So I was waking up from what I now know was like a spiritual attack, and I was so scared. As soon as I woke up, I called out to Jesus to help me. And that's when I had the vision of myself sitting at Jesus' foot. And I was only able to see us both from behind. He was on his throne, and I was sitting on the ground by him. And in one part of the vision, he was handing me his chalice to drink from.
Wow.
Yeah.
So cool.
Yeah, it was just really awesome. Then another part of the vision, I was resting my head on his feet, and I heard, "Rest your head at the foot of Christ." And then it just calmed way down, and I was able to go back to sleep and just sleep in peace.
Wow, look at that. It's not like you were sitting beside him or anything, just a place near him is just enough. What is important is that you were there. It's like when Jesus said, "Don't rejoice that demons flee from you. Rejoice that your names are written in heaven."
Right.
Exactly. And so to see yourself at Jesus' feet is just such an honor, because it's showing you that you're going to make it. Right? You don't want to be anywhere else. So,
but
yeah.
it's also important because it's just God showing me that, hey, like I matter to him, that I'm important to him, that he cares about me, that he loves me, and that's all that really matters when it comes down to it. So it's good to have that comfort and that reassurance.
And that's the thing. It's not about being on a throne. Just the fact that you're in his presence is just honor enough. Yeah. And I would do anything to sit at his feet. That is what it is all about, making it there. Jesus washed his disciples' feet. Now this is the Christ. And yet Jesus Christ went down on his knees, took off the sandals of his disciples and washed their feet. So if Christ can do that, why are we elevating ourselves above others?
He mentions sitting at different seats at the table. He talks about having that humility to not insert yourself at the best seat, but to put yourself at the least important seat. Because if you insert yourself and someone has to tell you to get up, that's embarrassing. But if you have the humility to say, well, I'm not that important, let me sit in the least important seat, then it's honorable for someone to say, why are you sitting there? Come sit here instead.
A place of honor.
Right.
Yeah. So it's not you elevating yourself.
Right.
It is God who elevates.
Right.
And he said, look, if you do that, if you elevate yourself above others, I'm going to humble you.
Right.
Right? It's just as simple as that.
Mm-hmm.
Look at Paul. Because Paul turned out to be the greatest apostle that ever lived. And Paul had seen things, experienced things, he was able to do things. Paul I remember a boy fell out of a window and Paul raised him from the dead. And so
Right.
he could boast if he wanted to. And yet, he said, no, I'm not going to boast. I'm going to talk about my weakness.
Right.
Because I don't have a right to boast. Because I am the same as you.
Yeah, he's not like that in and of himself. And if not for God's mercy,
He would
he
be where
would
he's
not be where he is.
Yeah.
That's the thing that we often forget. Forgetting that we are who we are because of him, through him. There's no
Yeah.
sacrifice, there's no great deed that any of us could have done
Yeah.
that would have saved us from our own sins.
Exactly. And we need to remember that we're all in the same boat. And so if it's sinking, we're all sinking. The thing is for us to get to our destination. And and to do that, it's about helping each other. So if I know more, it's not for me to elevate myself, but to help you to come to a place of understanding.
Right.
In talking to you, I can't say, well, we're not on the same level. We're almost on the same level. Or I don't associate myself with people who are not on my level spiritually. Really? Really?
Right.
We're all growing. And
Exactly.
sometimes we think we're where we need to be, and God has to fact check us. If I walk in a spiritual realm and somebody does not, does it give me the right to say, oh, you're not on my level?
No.
When I'm sharing with you, it is to help you. And I also want to hear what you have to say. In sharing, we're strengthening each other.
If somebody is lacking understanding, you explain things to them, right? And you ask God that if you're the person to explain things to them, that he guides you in doing that so that they can also grow spiritually in the way that we're required to grow.
Like for me, like I want to hear those stories of what God has done for people.
Right. It's encouraging. Right?
Exactly. But it's not to make comparisons.
No. It's being in awe of God and being encouraged to just keep going and keep doing his will. When you see, when we hear how he's worked in other people's lives, the testimonies are so awesome to me. It helps me to keep loving him and to keep committed to serving him and believing him and trusting him. And I feel like that is what it means for iron to sharpen iron.
You see, the way that God chooses people is not the same way we choose people.
No.
Because we would want to sometimes also elevate other people above other people, even ourselves.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
You know, looking at things like accomplishment, career, possessions, titles, job titles.
Yeah. And you know what, even within the church, and I can understand because the church is an organization and things have to be structured. So people have to get assignments. So they know a music minister and children's minister and the pastor and deacons and so on.
There's a purpose to it.
Right. And it's to fulfill certain jobs, accomplish certain jobs. Because the work has to be done.
The work has to be done.
Yeah. So the person who cleans the church.
Right. It's so funny. That's exactly what crossed my mind. Wow.
Yeah. You don't look down at the person who cleans the church. Because the church has to be clean.
The church has to be clean.
Yeah.
And blessed is that janitor.
Exactly.
They have the job nobody wants, or most people would not enjoy.
Want to do. Yeah.
So it's just that much more respect and honor should go to them. But that is not the way that we often think.
Yeah, that is true. These positions in church are just for the proper running of the church. It's like a well-oiled machine, and every single part is important in making that machine work. Even in the gifts, sometimes people are intimidated by other people in the church because, okay, this one's speaking in tongues and this one does this and that, and then, oh boy, you look down on somebody else because they're not speaking in tongues. That should not be, because different it's different gifts,
right?
one spirit.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. All for His glory, right?
Mhm.
Sometimes we get distracted by the things that don't matter, and sometimes that noise comes through, and you start to question your worth or your purpose in comparison to what other people are doing, because a lot of people
So it's comparison culture.
comparison
even
culture,
within the
right?
body of Christ.
Even within the body of Christ, where if you're not the pastor, if you're not a minister, if you're not a deacon, if you're not particularly gifted or talented in speaking or singing, sometimes other people treating you as less than can get to you if
Mhm.
you don't remember what God says about who you are and your worth being in Him. We're human, and sometimes even if we're not seeking out certain kinds of attention, those things can get to you when you're treated that way.
Mhm.
If you're not.
Yeah, well, as for me, I could care less. Yeah, because you know who I am and who I am. Like, I could care less. I mean, those things used to bother me, but honestly, they don't bother me anymore. Because I've come to realize that, and God had to really school me on this, that hey, you're not who people say that you are.
Right.
You're who I say
Right.
that you are.
I really feel like that's definitely what God's in the process of teaching me. Just in general, not even just in church as well, with people who are part of the body of Christ, as well as people who are not. I felt that on both ends, and it's just honestly, personally, been a struggle to not take that personally, and for God to be teaching me, it's not who people say I am, it's who He says I am.
Right.
And so I shouldn't let that bother me or affect me.
I've been made to feel a kind of way sometimes where, for example, somebody speaks in tongues and they make me feel like I'm inferior because I don't speak in tongues.
Right.
We ought not to do that to one another, because those gifts are given to us by the Holy Spirit, and all of us don't receive the same gifts. So not everybody's going to speak in tongues. And people are made to feel like, oh, you're not going to make it to heaven if you don't speak in tongues. What happened to the other gifts?
I remember a conversation that I had with God. I was talking to Him about a singer that I was very amazed with her talent. And I was saying to Him, like, wow, it's awesome how He has anointed them, because this singer identifies, at least to my knowledge, as Christian. So I assumed that her being so gifted had to be an anointing. And the Holy Spirit just stopped me in my tracks. I'll never forget it. And I heard Him say, hell is full of talented people.
Yeah. We sometimes work hard at the wrong things.
Right.
Sometimes we forget what our goal is. We forget the journey that we're supposed to be taking, and we get turned about.
Right. We forget that it's not about us.
Yeah. People need to just be helping one another, working together.
Right.
If I have something that I am good at, I'm not inclined to brag about it. If I talk about what God has done for me, I talk about my dreams, I talk about my gifts, and it's not in an attempt to brag and boast and say, hey, look at me, God's using me. It's just for me to show people that, hey, there's a God.
Right.
And He is good. He's amazing. He does amazing things through people. People like me. And I'm imperfect. Oh boy, am I imperfect. With loudmouth, bad temper, anger issues. And
but nobody's perfect, right?
Exactly.
It's just a matter of a lot of us don't want to admit that.
Yeah, that is
Right.
true. Yeah.
And I think that's a good point as well, because I feel like that's also a motivator as to why we can point the finger at somebody who's obviously overtly in wrong, right? Because it's out there, we can see it, but you're not seeing what's in the closet.
Right,
So
exactly.
I'm gonna keep quiet about that. But hey, you're doing that thing that's really bad.
Yeah.
Let's talk about how much you suck.
Yeah, that is true. Oh my goodness, that is so true. Yeah, because then it diverts attention away from you, and you can then feel like, oh, I'm better than John Brown or John Smith or whoever, because then, okay, you know, the focus is not really on you. If I talk about what I'm able to do, it's just to show that God can use anybody.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a testimony
Of His goodness.
Of His goodness.
Not about my greatness.
And for His glory.
Exactly, but not about my greatness, but His goodness.
His goodness.
Exactly. Yeah, because even Moses parting the sea, I'm not impressed with Moses.
No, you're impressed with God.
I'm impressed with God. Right. So the focus should be that.
Right.
And in the end, Moses was no better than anybody else.
Nope.
Than the people he was leading.
Exactly.
Because he's a human being just chosen for an extraordinary job.
All His chosen vessels.
Exactly.
Right.
Different purpose.
To do with as He chooses.
Yeah. So I don't know where this level, where these levels come from. You know, who's level 1, level 2, level 3, what's level 9, what's level 7. You know, who determines that? I don't see that in the Bible. I think we need to stop doing that. We really need to stop doing that. That is something that I hope that people will cut out, because it's not cool. No. I'm not better than anybody else. I'm not at a level that is oh so high and elevated. No, I'm here trying.
Right.
We're all trying.
We're all trying. We all
Exactly.
fall short of the glory of God. None of us, in and of ourselves, could deliver ourselves from sin.
Exactly.
We're all inherently wicked. Anything good about us is by the grace of God, that He has blessed us with any redeeming traits and qualities.
Exactly.
And still only He can sanctify and redeem us for those things. How do we work together to accomplish God's will and give Him the glory?
Not outdoing one another.
Right.
Yeah, not outdoing one another.
Nope.
Yeah. We have to humble ourselves. Yeah.
It's constant, right?
Yeah.
Constant
work that has to be done.
Right.
Yeah, I think that I've vented enough. I've vented enough for today, right? So, is that a wrap?
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's a wrap. So until next time, gentle people, thanks so much for watching, for sticking with us until the end. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, share, comment, and please do come back. Blessings.
Don't sleep, don't sleep, don't sleep on my association. Don't sleep.